Hello?
Hello.
Oh, yes. Hi, how are you? This is the attorney, Arkady Frekhtman.
Oh yeah, how you doing?
Oh, good, good. How are you doing? How's everything?
I'm doing well. Getting better.
Oh, that's great. Good to hear that. Yeah, so tell me what happened.
Well, this case, it goes back to like 2022. Um, I came home one day and I seen a leak in my ceiling. Reported it to my landlord. Uh, but he never made any arrangements to make any repairs. By April 2023, it was still leaking. The ceiling was still leaking. I already documented it and took pictures of the water stains and stuff. And several months later, it was leaking real bad one evening. And ultimately, it was in the, I want to say probably at 4 o'clock, it was leaking.
Hmm.
Um,
So it was leaking
Time.
all that time from 2022 until April of 23. So that's, and when in 2022 did you first notice it?
uh, it was, it was late night because I remember the date exactly because it was the day after my birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
when was that? What month was it?
It was in September.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so you have like September, October, November, December, 4 plus another 4, right? You have 8 months. That's pretty good for liability. They should have fixed it. They had 8 months. Yeah.
Definitely should have fixed it. And I got a lot of strings of text messages going back and forth with the landlord about this.
What's the date of incident? When did it collapse on you? Is that what happened?
So the ceiling collapsed. Um, when the ceiling collapsed, I I got out of the way on time, so uh, it wasn't the debris that really affected me or hurt injured me. It was the water really, because I tried to get out of the way from the ceiling collapse, and that's how the accident really occurred. I fell off the debris of water and everything that was on the floor, and I ended up slipping, hitting my head on the floor. I got like granite style floors, so they real slippery, and then I ended up falling. About an hour later, I was washing up. I ended up getting nauseous and vomiting while I was washing, and my wife was, "No, man, you got to go to the hospital." So I ended up going to the ER, and they said I had a concussion and uh, slip. I I don't know if it's called spondylolisthesis.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty. And then what ended up happening next? Did you get medical care and did they give you a diagnosis of injury? Any type of procedures done, like injection, surgery?
Plenty. I started going to chiropractor 3 times a week. I ended up getting positive MRIs of bulging discs, and one of my vertebrae was, I think, a grade 2 movement, or and ended up having epidural injections. Uh, Ended up having, I think I did them about 4 months apart of each other.
And the epidurals, what part of your body? Was that lower back or was that neck or?
Yeah, lower back, my L5S1.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then anything else after that? Any type of surgery or anything?
Oh, definitely. So I got the pain management. I'm a truck driver, so I wasn't able to be prescribed any medicines that could make me drowsy or anything like that. It's real strict with the FMCSA when it comes to driving any commercial vehicles. So I ended up opting out and getting the injections. I ended up getting going to a neurosurgeon. I went to a neurosurgeon. He told me I needed a surgery, the spinal fusion. I wanted to get a second opinion. So I ended up going to an orthopedic surgeon. He told me the same thing. It was like real bad news. Um, financially for me because I'm just thinking about the recovery period. They saying,
And you did a spinal fusion. Was that also L5S1? Was that one level?
yeah, it was a one level.
Was it
So
L?
initially they told me I had to do the surgery, and I didn't go forward with it because at the time my job wasn't affording me my FMLA.
Oh, I see, I see. Right, right. But the surgery, was it one level? Just was it L5S1 or was it more than one level?
Yeah, it was the L5S1.
L5S1. And how old were you when, or how old are you now? What's your age?
I'm 35 now.
Oh, wow. So you're super young. Yeah, you're super young. Wow. Um, yeah, that's crazy.
So I ended up doing 2 more injections just to bear with the pain because it's like I can't take any medicine.
Yeah. And by the way, do you remember the date of incident? When did this happen? The ceiling collapse? Was it April of 23 or what date was it?
April 14th of 2023.
Oh, okay. And so you have a lawyer handling it?
Yeah, I have a lawyer. We filed a lawsuit.
And who do you have? Which company is representing you? So he's just like a solo practitioner. It's not like a firm, like a law firm or anything.
Yeah, it's a firm. It's a firm. They so long their name is
Yeah, I mean, I could do if you want, I could do like a verdict search and see what results they've had in the
that's what it
past.
is.
Oh yeah, there's only two results. So the first result is a case where it was a it was a car accident, and the lady had some kind of lumbar strain radiculopathy, and then let me see what it says here. It was basically the injury was she had chiropractic and she had epidural injections too. But then the verdict was it was only $24,395. So it's kind of low. And then the second one was a case where a lady was also a car accident, and then the injury was complaints of neck and back pain, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar strains, chiropractic, and the result was zero. So yeah, those are the two cases that they have reported for that attorney. Yeah, so but yeah, I mean, like, and then like, what stage is the lawsuit going in? What stage is it at right now?
So now just filed discovery.
Have you had your deposition? Have they asked you questions already about what happened and?
No, I haven't had.
Oh, okay. So it's still early. It's still early then. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, consult with somebody else, I could give you the name of that other lawyer that I work with in Connecticut. They're really good. They just had a $400 million case in New Mexico. They had a case in Connecticut that was with a big box store, like kind of like a Walmart, where something fell on a guy and he got really hurt. He also had like surgeries on his back, but they ended up winning like 100 million. And I mean, they're good. They're really good. They can get. Do you know how much insurance this landlord has in your case?
Um, think they haven't said they haven't found out. We was the landlord was being like real shady, not trying to have his insurance get involved or anything like that.
No, he's gotta tell you once you file a lawsuit, he's gotta tell you how much insurance he has, like 1 million with like a 5 million excess or whatever it is. What kind of building is it? Is it like a one family or like is it a big building with multiple stories or what kind of
It's a multi-family. I live in a multi-family unit, and he owns all 4 buildings that's right next to each other.
Okay. And what do they look like? How many floors are the buildings or stories?
Each one are there 3 floors each building, and they hold 2 families, so it's about 8 families on these like connected, conjoined buildings.
Okay. And is it like is it just individual buildings, or is it more like a condo or something like that? Like a or
They're individual buildings.
individual? Okay. And where are they located? What city are they in?
In Bridgeport.
Oh, Bridgeport, right. And you oh, okay, yeah.
I know the landlord owns over a dozen multi-family units in Bridgeport.
Oh, okay. And is the landlord just an individual?
Yeah, so that's the thing that was trippy. I'm actually from New York. I never seen something like that. It struck me as odd that all of his properties are just like they're in his name. They're not under LLC or anything like that.
Right, right. Because usually you have like an LLC to be the landlord, but then you also have like a management company. But I guess they're kind of on the smaller side, so he might not have a management company that manages it for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was really accustomed to being from New York is you usually pay rent to like a management company.
Right, right. And then like here, the rent, so it gets paid to him individually, and when your lawyer filed the lawsuit, he just named the guy, like John Smith, whatever his name is, just the guy individually.
Yep, and he has insurance, so we figured out that he does have insurance. The insurance contacted my attorney, and the insurance company ended up hiring yeah, I think the insurance company hired them.
Do you know who the insurance company is? Which insurance company? Okay. No, I mean, I could, yeah, if you wanted, yeah, if you wanted me to help, I could definitely help you with it. I mean, because this guy, I mean, I don't know him. I've never heard of that firm, but it doesn't look that.
Oh, that's what it is. It's
Yeah, I have a lot of cases with them. Yeah, in fact, I have a case with them right now that I'm working on, a big case. Yeah, they're fine. I mean, they're just like a defense firm. They're pretty big. They have offices in New York. I think they have some in Europe, like Paris or whatever. But they're not really anything to be afraid of. They just do regular depositions. They ask, basic questions like what happened, what are your injuries, not basically like it's not an issue. But it is a good sign because usually represents defendants with like big insurance. So if he has 12 buildings, maybe he has a nice policy or he has an umbrella policy. He might have like a million with like a 5 million umbrella because he's got to protect himself with 12 different buildings out there. So yeah, that could be good. It could be a big policy, but you want to be able to take the whole thing. You want to, if it's like 5 million, 6 million, you want to be able to take the whole thing. Whoever you have now, I mean, I don't know him, so I don't want to say good or bad, but the results aren't really that good. Like zero is one, and then the other is 24,000, but you're not really looking for that kind of money. So, it's up to you. If you want, I could give you the guy that I work with. I could have them call you or have you call them and just chat with them, get like a second opinion. If you want to use them, you can. But of course, there's no obligation. You could stay with who you have now, whatever you want. But I think they could really hit a home run for you. They're good. They could get you maybe into the millions on it. Because with a fusion, that's what it's worth. It's worth a lot.
yeah, and after the surgery, I've been experiencing complications that I'm really not enjoying. Put it that way. It's just there was some benefits, but there definitely was some negative uh, after the lumbar fusion. It's not just
No, of
all
course.
peaches and cream. And
No, I know because you lose a lot of mobility. You lose a lot of mobility, and you could have even partial like nerve entrapment. Well, what kind of complications? Like what kind of issues are you having?
I'm having like a lot of numbness in my thighs, and I'm actually having like yeah, I'm just having like pains that I didn't experience before the surgery, and they're chopping it up to being um, the nerves being irritated from them taking the pressure off the nerves with the bone that they shaved off.
Hmm.
And they saying that this, uh, I'll have to wait at least 12 months before I get diagnosed with anything that they saying is long term, but it could be long term. And it's just a real scary thing to even just think about it, having these long term issues for something that was just like so basic to fix.
Right. And then you said you're married, right? You have a wife.
I have a wife, I have a child, so
How old is your child?
he's 8.
Oh, right. So that affects your ability to like play with your child, with your son, right? And play sports or do things. So yeah, that's the other thing. Like what they do is they do like a deeper dive and like more of like a human story where they find out like what activities, get like photo albums, tell a whole story like you would do if you're putting on like imagine like you're writing like a movie or a play. Like they really do a deep dive and then even maybe interview people from your job or from your friends, neighbors, to get other people to tell the story of how you were before, how you are now, because a lot of lawyers don't do that, but that's where you could really show a compelling picture, and then you can get big money on the case through that.
Yeah, because career-wise, this is like really got my life in shambles. A lot of people think that when you're just a truck driver, that's all your job details is just driving, but it doesn't really work like that. It's a lot of bending, twisting, lifting, just doing pre-trip evaluations of your vehicle. You got to be able to get underneath the truck and check your brakes and do like a lot of physical demanding things that is like
And what kind of
can't do.
what kind of trucks do you drive? Is it like a 18 wheeler or one of those big ones with a trailer?
Yep.
Oh, so don't you have to sometimes even do like what is it called, like coupling or uncoupling and things like that? Like
Coupling, uncoupling, lifting the stand for the trailer.
that's hard to do, yeah.
Yeah, without being able to, they saying I'm not gonna be able to lift 50 pounds for 6 months to a year, and it's can't lift or pull or push. It's like I can't take pallets out of the truck, and now it got me thinking about changing my whole career. Like honestly, I can't stay without working for that long. This is just gonna be it.
Have you been out of work? Have you been out of work since the date of the ceiling collapse?
No, I was working. I was working. In pain, doing what I have to do, doing the epidurals, which I think made it worse. That's why I opted out to do the surgery because the epidural is like putting a band-aid on something
Yeah, no, I know. The epidural doesn't solve the problem.
because they numbing you.
Yeah, it's just temporary.
Know your limit. So once it wears off, you feel worse than when you even got the epidural to begin with.
Yeah, I know. Epidural doesn't really solve the problem. And when did you have the fusion? Do you remember like approximately what month and what year?
Yeah, I have it in March 27th this year, 2025.
Oh, okay. So you've been out of work since this, and then you another 6 months. So you'll be out of work at least until September, right? Or maybe no, even wait. Now is May, so even wait, yeah, like November, right? November of
Yeah, I
2025.
mean, they supposed to release me on the 30th for light duty, but I was an independent contractor, and it's gonna be I'm not gonna be able to have any light duty job. I wasn't awarded any FMLA or anything like that since I'm an independent contractor. So now I'm thinking about finding a job, maybe being like in a school instructor for people that's trying to get their CDLs, which is going to be like a huge pay cut for me.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that could be a big case because you could have the lost wages, which is one category. If you change jobs, it's a diminution in salary. You're going to get less salaries. But over the course of a working life, people work to be like 65 and you're only 35. So you still have like 30 more years. And if the lower salary is something like even, I don't know, 50,000 in a year, right? But times 30 years, that could be a huge amount. Then lost, I mean, future medical costs because if you have a fusion at one level, then there's the adjacent segment disease, which is medically known. So that's to a reasonable degree of medical probability. You will need it, not now, but maybe in 10 or 15 years. So that just the cost of another fusion, like at L4, let's say, is probably over $100,000, right? And then adding up all the physical therapy prescriptions, medications, MRIs, everything you're going to need over a lifetime. That could be like a 35-year-old, that could be like 3 million. And then, past pain and suffering from 2023 until whenever the trial will probably be in like 26 or 27. So you figure that's like 4 years of pain and suffering. That could be, 2, 3 million. And then future pain and suffering, that's the big ticket item where you have, people live to be like 84, 83. I think you have close to 50 years of future pain and suffering where that could be, like 5 million, 7 million, maybe even more. Like, that could be a big one. And then each category is separate, right? So when you add it all up, it could be really big. So yeah, definitely. I would recommend, if you want, I'll have them reach out to you, or I'll give you their information if you want to call them. If you want a second opinion, if they're interested, or someone else. I know a bunch of people in Connecticut that are really good, trial attorneys that get like $1 million results. But these guys I just thought came to mind because they're really good. They're like one of the best in the whole country.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to reaching out to another attorney. Would it affect the process that I'm at now in the case? Would I have to like start?
No, no, not at all. It just continues from wherever you are. So basically, like if you're in the discovery stage but you haven't had depositions, you just sign up with the new lawyer. He sends a letter to the old lawyer. The old lawyer transfers the file, and then basically, if the case settles, for example, for $1 million, right? If you only had the old lawyer, you would get 700. He gets 300. If you get the new lawyer, what happens is the same thing. It settles for $1 million. You still get 700. It's just the 300 then has to be shared. So the old lawyer might say, well, I did some work, I filed a lawsuit, I might want like 50K. And then the new lawyer will say, but I did everything else, like depositions, I took it to trial, I did most of it. So I'll take like 250, or however they split it up amongst themselves, but it doesn't really affect you. You still get the client's piece of the pie, which is the 300. And it doesn't go back, like, wherever you are now, it just continues, because like the lawsuit's filed, you've done some paper discovery, but probably have the new lawyer prepare you and do depositions with you because they're really good at that. And then also, the other thing about these guys is they have access to this, like focus group that interviews like thousands and thousands of people. So they'll explain your case, like the facts, the injuries, to like thousands of people, and they'll get their data. And then based on that data, they know exactly what to ask the jury at trial. And then it's very accurate, like it's crazy accurate, where it'll tell them, hey, you have to ask, for example, for 15 million. And then if you ask for 15, you're going to get like 12.5. And then they've done it over and over again. And they've tested it. Like there was one case they asked for 20, and by interviewing like 5,000 people, they were told, hey, you're going to get like 16.5, and they got like 16.9. It's like really almost eerie, almost scary accurate. So that's also a big benefit, because another lawyer, like they're probably not going to do that, because just the cost of doing something like that is like $30,000 out of pocket. But they kind of have relationships with these companies, and they kind of do that. So that could be a big plus too.
Yeah, that would be very helpful in the case. I could see how that definitely helps.
Yeah, and also, like, when you speak to that many people, they come up with like issues. So whatever the defenses would be by the defense lawyer, these people, because when you do with such a large scale focus group of like say 5,000 people, they're going to say, hey, what about this? What about that? And then they get all that information from what the people tell them, and then they basically they fix that. If they say, hey, what about him like going back to work, or what about this, or what about that? They basically know how to respond to each issue. So when they come to court, they're super prepared. You can't get any more prepared than that. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
really good.
definitely.
It's really good. Okay, I'll have them reach out, and then yeah, if you have any questions, just text me anytime. I'm happy to chat again. I want to make sure that you're in good hands and you get the maximum justice for your case. But yeah, it looks like a good case, definitely.
Thanks. Appreciate your time. I'm a
Well, that's
big fan, man. I've been watching your videos ever since my accident. Really helpful stuff.
oh,
Helped me
thanks.
gather like a lot of the information that I used um just regarding the whole case, and building my case, and having all of this evidence. I really got, as soon as the accident happened, I ended up coming across your videos and stuff, and it helped document the whole thing. So I got like a whole bunch of photos, and I
Oh,
made
that's
sure
great.
to have all my text messages,
Oh, that's
and
great.
had
That's awesome.
gathered a lot of evidence.
Oh, that's awesome. So that'll be really easy for the lawyer to then, yeah, to do that and then to tell like a compelling story. That's great. No, I'm glad to hear that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that'll make it really strong. So yeah, I think the next step would be just to find out how much insurance they have, and then just to really prepare you for the deposition so you do really well, and then you'll hit a home run. It'll be a good case. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should I be able to ask my lawyer? 'Cause, I could just ask my lawyer, like, how much is the insurance policy?
Yeah, I mean, if they know, they should tell you. You could ask them. I mean, if it's Wilson Elser, it's probably at least 1 million, but there might be excess umbrella beyond the million. And the guy has 12 buildings. He probably has, I mean, something. He's got to be protected. But yeah, you could ask them. But I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. If you're thinking about switching over, these guys will find out. I mean, it's pretty. Usually, it's automatic. They just tell you in when you file a lawsuit and you go to the preliminary conference and you meet with the judge. Usually, they just automatically goes into the order. It's like pre-printed. Hey, defendant to give insurance information. So you'll get it.
At this stage in the lawsuit, though, my lawyer should know, though, right?
Yeah, if he's already in discovery, he should know, but most likely. So you could just ask him as well. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'll work on this. I'll get this over to you, and then, like I said, like feel free to reach out anytime. I hope you feel better, and yeah, we'll stay in touch. And yeah, all the best to you. Absolutely.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, have a great day. Feel better. I'll talk to you very soon. Okay, so you could see like this particular client has a really good case. He's only 33 when the ceiling falls on him. He's got 8 months of what's known as notice. And the notice is actual notice because in September of 2022, this ceiling was leaking and he reported it to the landlord. That's actually telling the landlord, you have a leaking ceiling. And the landlord says, whatever, I don't care. I'm not going to fix it until April, 8 months later, when he has this ceiling collapse on his head and he has to run out of the way. He doesn't hit him, but he slips on the granite floor. He gets so injured that he has a spinal fusion. It's affecting his life. He also has a concussion. I forgot to ask him if he treated for the concussion, if that went away, or if he had any neurology, but he could still possibly, do that as well. But he has 8-year-old son, a wife. It's affecting his work. That's a big case. We went through the categories like past pain and suffering, future pain and suffering, wages. If he ends up getting a job that pays less, he's going to have huge lost wages, huge future medical costs. And then the biggest thing would be the future pain and suffering and loss of enjoyment of life. And that's good that actually from watching my videos, he got the photos and all the notes. And that's good because now if he ends up, whether he ends up switching over or staying with the lawyer he has now, but you want the lawyer to be able to really prepare the human story and do a compelling human story because that's I think what the jury really cares about. Because when they see the human story, like an inability to play with his son, things like that, then they could think, hey, that could be me, right? And then they feel like more emotionally attached to the case and they want to give a bigger amount. But if they just hear like L5S1, they don't know what that is, right? That's just medical mumbo jumbo. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let us know what questions you have. Our goal is helping serious injury victims and families. All the best, everyone. Bye-bye.